The overhead monitors would display $12.3 million worth of Venezuelan oil payments within 47 seconds. December 18, 2025. Senate Foreign Relations Committee chamber crackled with pre-hearing tension. Senator Chris Murphy sits 3 seats from the chairman, his wire-rimmed glasses reflecting harsh committee lights. Before him lies a closed manila folder marked Treasury Enforcement Confidential. What everyone expects is routine confirmation questioning. At the witness table, Pam Bondi maintains perfect composure, navy suit impeccable, hands clasped precisely, FBI security detail positioned behind her. She's survived brutal congressional testimony before, emerging unscathed through pure legal precision. Nothing unusual anticipated today. The folder opens. Murphy begins with lethal calm. Miss Bondi, during 2025, did your private practice receive payments from entities with Venezuelan energy operations? Standard inquiry, expected protocol. Bondi shifts forward with practiced confidence. Senator, my international practice involved various business matters across multiple sectors, all properly disclosed per federal ethics requirements and state bar regulations. Murphy's gaze remains fixed on folder contents. His voice carries prosecutorial precision. My question pertains specifically to Bolivar Energy Consortium, a Venezuelan oil operation spanning the Orinoco Belt reserves with annual revenues exceeding $4.2 billion. The pause extends beyond her normal response time. Press gallery leans forward. I would need to review specific entity records to provide accurate information. Allow me to assist with accuracy. Murphy raises a single document. Treasury Department letterhead clearly visible to cameras. Red classification stamps mark the margins. 4 wire transfers to Trump Organization subsidiaries were flagged by Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Bolivar Energy Consortium was the originating source. The amounts come slowly, deliberately, each figure designed for maximum impact. $2.8 million, March 15th. $3.1 million, June 22nd. $3.7 million, August 30th. $2.7 million, November 8th. He pauses. Cameras zoom on Bondi's face. Total, $12.3 million. Bondi's hands maintain position, but her knuckles go white. Breathing becomes controlled, visible. Senator, without reviewing specific transaction contexts, I cannot verify unsubstantiated allegations. Transfer timing correlates precisely with your DOJ communications regarding Venezuela sanctions enforcement. Each payment preceded your policy recommendations by exactly 48 hours. Mathematical precision, Miss Bondi. But Murphy isn't finished. The real nuclear weapon waits in his folder. This is when careers end on live television. Miss Bondi, this is a recorded phone conversation, July 15th, 2025, 3:47 p.m. Eastern. Participants include yourself, Donald Trump, and Bolivar CEO Ricardo Salinas. He holds up an audio device, finger hovering over play. Would you prefer to explain this coordination, or shall I let America hear it directly? The chamber falls completely silent. Even HVAC systems seem to pause. Recording conversations don't just end careers, they start criminal prosecutions. Bondi's voice wavers for the first time. Senator, I would need proper legal context for any alleged communications that may involve attorney-client privilege considerations. No privilege protects criminal conspiracy. Murphy presses play. Crystal clear audio fills the marble chamber.
Trump's voice, unmistakable. Pam, Ricardo's people are getting absolutely hammered by these Treasury sanctions. We need DOJ to back off enforcement until after the election. This is killing our position. Bondi responds without hesitation. I can delay the ExxonMobil investigation indefinitely. That gives Bolivar sufficient restructuring time to reorganize their Venezuelan holdings through shell companies. Ricardo Salinas, speaking with slight accent. Perfect. The November payment processes automatically after enforcement suspension confirmation. $2.7 million as discussed. Trump again. Beautiful. Ricardo, your family. Pam, make this disappear. The recording ends. Absolute, devastating silence. November payment? Murphy repeats slowly, letting the implications sink in. The $2.7 million that processed to Trump accounts exactly 3 days after you personally suspended DOJ investigation into ExxonMobil's Venezuelan sanctions violations? Bondi's breathing becomes labored, controlled, visible panic. Senator, private conversations taken completely out of proper context can mislead congressional oversight and public understanding. Context. Murphy's voice rises with controlled fury. Let me provide definitive context. Another document emerges from the folder. Department of Justice Internal Memorandum, August 15, 2025. Subject line, Venezuela Sanctions Enforcement Strategic Suspension Directive, Immediate Implementation. Your signature appears at the bottom. He reads directly from official DOJ letterhead. Effective immediately, all enforcement actions against U.S. energy companies operating within Venezuelan territorial waters are suspended pending comprehensive policy review. Bolivar Energy Consortium partnership agreements are specifically excluded from federal prosecution priorities. The implications hit the chamber like physical blows. She had specifically protected Bolivar while suspending enforcement against their competitors. Market manipulation for personal profit. This isn't legal advice, Miss Bondi. This is systematic corruption with federal documentation. But Murphy had saved his most devastating evidence for the final destruction, the surveillance photographs. Miss Bondi, are you familiar with the Caracas Ritz-Carlton Hotel's private dining facilities? Her voice barely audible. I may have stayed there during authorized official travel. Murphy produces a high-resolution photograph, security camera timestamp clearly visible. October 12, 2025, 7:23 p.m. local time. Surveillance footage shows you, Donald Trump, and Ricardo Salinas in the hotel's exclusive private dining room. Meeting duration, 2 hours, 47 minutes. Bondi's eyes actively avoid the photograph placed directly in front of her. The conversation topics are documented through directional microphone surveillance. Shall I read the transcript, or would you prefer to explain why an Attorney General nominee was coordinating American energy policy with Venezuelan oil executives? No response materializes. Complete professional breakdown. Next morning, 9:15 a.m., you contacted Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen requesting expedited approval for Bolivar Energy's sanctions exemption applications. That same afternoon, 2:47 p.m., $2.7 million processed to Trump Organization accounts through Cayman Islands intermediary banks. By evening, 8:30 p.m., enforcement suspension memo drafted and submitted for immediate implementation. Murphy leans forward with prosecutorial precision. 24 hours from secret meeting to payment to policy change. Miss Bondi, this isn't coincidence or context. This is criminal conspiracy with documented timeline precision. The chamber erupts in complete chaos. Republican members shout points of order, demanding authentication of classified materials. Democratic members call for immediate criminal referral. Chairman Menendez bangs his gavel repeatedly, but control has been lost. America is watching their justice system collapse on live television. Through the mayhem, Murphy continues with devastating calm. While American families paid $4.50 per gallon for gasoline, while seniors chose between gas and groceries, while small businesses collapsed under energy costs, you and Donald Trump were secretly collecting millions from Venezuelan oil companies in exchange for sabotaging sanctions enforcement. You rigged American energy policy for personal profit. You betrayed American energy independence for Venezuelan blood money.
You turned the Department of Justice into a protection racket for hostile foreign regimes. Bondi sits completely motionless, career collapsing in real time under overwhelming documentary evidence. The confident attorney who had entered the chamber no longer exists. Murphy gathers his documents with methodical precision. This committee immediately issues subpoenas for all financial records related to Bolivar energy payments. The Justice Department Inspector General receives criminal referrals for federal bribery, sanctions violations, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and money laundering charges. Your confirmation hearing ends here, Ms. Bondi. Your criminal trial begins the moment you leave this chamber. Security escorts approach the witness table as committee members demand immediate recess. Bondi rises on unsteady legs, nomination destroyed, freedom threatened, legacy permanently stained by documented corruption. The American people watching at home understood completely. While they struggled with rising gas prices, their leaders had been getting rich from the very regimes causing the energy crisis. The evidence was overwhelming, undeniable, devastating. $12.3 million in traced payments, 4 documented wire transfers, recorded Trump conversations, high-resolution surveillance photographs, internal DOJ memoranda bearing her signature, timeline correlation proving criminal conspiracy. What made the revelation even more damaging was the casual nature of the corruption captured on audio. 3 powerful people discussing American energy policy like a routine business transaction, trading sanctions enforcement for campaign contributions while families across America struggled to afford basic transportation. The recording would replay millions of times on social media within hours. The wire transfer documents would become evidence in criminal trials. The surveillance photos would define their political legacy forever. By evening, #BolivarGate was trending worldwide. CNN led with Attorney General nominee caught in $12 million Venezuela scandal. Even Fox News couldn't defend audio evidence of Trump coordinating sanctions policy for oil money. Sometimes the strongest weapon against institutional corruption isn't political rhetoric or media criticism. It's documented evidence that proves beyond reasonable doubt what everyone suspected but couldn't prove. Venezuelan oil money, recorded criminal conspiracy, surveillance evidence, federal document trails, 0 plausible explanations. Justice served with receipts.